Who do you want to talk about first?
Mitch Sherman, The Athletic.
He can play. And we need people that can play.
And we'll never be royal. Let me live that fantasy.
Mitch Sherman, The Athletic. On the Connor Happer Show. On 1620, The Zone.
He can play. We need people who can play. That's from Moneyball. I watched that on the plane. That did not have to return to Epley Airfield and did not have Brian Windhorst on it. We're joined now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline by Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Hi, Mitch.
Wait, was Brian Windhorst on the plane that had to turn around?
Yes, he was. KTV interviewed him, and they were like, so the reporter went out there. Obviously, she doesn't know anything about sports. And she was like, I caught up with Brian, who was on the plane to LAX.
No way. No way.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's incredible.
They're like, wow, you're really comfortable in front of the camera.
He had a whole.
You got a great Zoom set up there, Brian.
They got him on the Zoom, and he had his whole ESPN background up, and they were like, he works for ESPN or whatever. And Bill Shammert put out a tweet earlier, and he was like, wait a minute, you talked to who? Incredible. Fantastic.
Did the interview delve into Kevin Durant's return to Oklahoma City last night?
No,
anything like that.
But it was amazing to hear him analyze the 5-minute flight like it was LeBron James's career. That was awesome.
Yes. He's like, and then we made a sharp left, and you could see an open space up the road. I know it was going to be a smooth landing when we. Yeah, that's great. That's great. That made my day.
Yeah, check it out. I tweeted it out with a little LMAL, but our friends at KTV tweeted it out a little bit ago. It's a great 1 minute.
What if it would have been like Stephen A. Smith on the plane? I think they would have known.
Well, now people are going to start asking the question, what was Windhorst doing in Omaha? And they can finally answer, oh, yeah, he lives here. He's one of ours.
Yeah, I think we're beyond that. People know that, right?
Maybe not as well known
outside of sports.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Huh. All right.
They know now.
That's great.
It's fantastic.
I'm on Highway 370. Speaking of things in Omaha, you guys know about the Battle of 370 that's coming up on Friday?
Is it Papillion and Papillion La Vista or something, or Papillion La Vista, Papillion La Vista South?
No, it's Gretna and Gretna East.
Whoa. That's a battle for 370?
It is, yeah. I mean, if you drive from Gretna High School to Gretna East High School, you have to take Highway 370.
Okay. I like that.
So it's the battle for 370 West. Papillion could probably stake it. Bellevue could probably stake its claim on some level, but not like now. It's going to be pretty great Friday night at the stadium. Yeah.
So
looking forward to it.
Do you when Elkhorn and Elkhorn South play each other, is it the battle for 204th Street?
Yeah, it would have to be that.
Yeah.
Highway 6, they call it.
I guess it is an extension, right, of Highway 6. That sounds a lot better.
It's not in Elkhorn. I think it's only south of Dodge, Highway 6. So I don't know what that's called. Highway 31. Yeah, it's called the Battle of Highway 31.
People are saying that Papillion La Vista South and Gretna is actually the battle for 370, but Gretna East kind of just snuck their way in there recently.
Yeah, I take offense to that. But it could be. There were many battles at 370. Yes.
Winner
gets the one that has staked the claim to the name.
Asian Joe says winner gets the Mega High V. Great idea.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to cede control of that. I feel like the Hy-Vee has already been claimed by one of those programs. But, those dragons, they can have it. I used to be a dragon back in the day.
And now you're a griffin.
All
right. All right, Mitch. So what is your confidence level? After we've heard all the quotes from this week. They have been weird over the last couple days in hindsight, coming off of the Minnesota game. What is your confidence level that Nebraska has now, the players have had their attention now, exclusively pointed toward Northwestern in the football game this week? Like, is this a bounce back opportunity for Nebraska, or is this oh boy, this could go sideways fast?
I think it's a perfect bounce back opportunity because of the team that Nebraska is playing, and you get a little bit of a do-over. You don't get do-overs like that. That L is going to be there, and it's going to be ugly, and we're going to be probably talking about it for months, like as a moment in the season, whether it was the moment that Nebraska's season turned in the wrong direction, like the Indiana game last year, or the moment that Nebraska had this terrible blip and they got it back together. It's going to be one of those two things or something in the middle. I think this is the perfect opponent to face next because the Northwestern is going to try to beat Nebraska in the same way that Minnesota did. So that should have their attention. That should definitely have their attention. If you don't, I mean, there's going to be different things in the game plan, of course, different players that you have to pay attention to. Minnesota, it's simplified too much to say it's just the same team. It's not, but they do some things better than Minnesota, I think, a lot of things. But you're back home. Like, energy shouldn't be a problem. Focus should not be a problem this week. I don't think that when you get to the heart of what it was that plagued Nebraska going into Friday night, I don't think those things are going to be on the stage and applicable to this week.
What have you made of sort of the quotes now in retrospect? Like, do you I mean, they seem to all be saying like similar things. So I guess that could be a good thing, but odd that Minnesota seemingly did not have Nebraska's full attention last week.
Yeah, I mean, once Matt Rhule said it, I think if the media opportunities were in reverse and you had the head coach on Tuesday with the players on Monday and the coordinators, and I don't think the answers would have come out the same from the players. I don't think you would have heard this stuff about they were too relaxed and they, you could see it in like Luke Lindenmeyer said that he could see a little bit of it in the week leading up to the game. So I think they were falling in line. It isn't that they didn't believe those things. I think they did, but they're not always things that you just admit. Once Rhule had already said it, then the players they felt more comfortable falling in line and saying, yeah, coach is right. Like, they didn't have our full attention for whatever reason that is, and that's not good. So that's kind of why Nebraska, I think, structures this the way that it does, where the head coach has his day to go and give his explanation, and the players, they don't always have to listen and watch. But this week was a good time to do that. It was probably a good idea that Dana Holgerson and John Butler and Dylan Raiola and others watched or at least read the transcript of what Matt Rhule had to say on Monday. You want to appear unified. You don't want to get like different answers from different individuals about why something went poorly. That probably matters a little bit for just the feeling around the team and like their ability to rebound quickly.
What do you think from a football perspective now, Mitch? What do you think the right path is for Nebraska offensively for an identity that they seemingly have not quite found yet?
Committing to the run. I mean, it's as simple as that. We saw them do it. At Maryland. If this thing just kind of wavers and doesn't ever fully get fixed, and let's say Nebraska gets to the bowl game and it's 8-4, which would be a nice season, but not like a spectacular season by any means. And that's going to require them to go 3-2 the rest of the way. So good finish from here. I think they'll be, and the offense doesn't ever gain this focused identity. Then I think that they were, and assuming that everyone is back, and everyone as far as who has eligibility and time on their contracts are back in players and coaches in 2026. I think there'll be a push and conversation outwardly and inwardly to refocus the identity of the offense. I don't believe that Nebraska could go air raid and succeed in the Big Ten. I really don't. And that's Dana's strength. Obviously, it's his history, but that conversation is going to come up about what do you do? How do you beef up the O-line? And I think that's what it is. I think they have to, these next 6 weeks, 5 games, and then moving ahead into next season, they have, again, there's some variables there, but they have to find a way. It's the Big Ten to be strong at the line of scrimmage. And offensively, that means hitting the transfer portal to find linemen. They did it last year and they found 2 starters at Notre Dame and Alabama. And amazingly, that hasn't been enough.
Yeah. Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Mitch, I want to let you go on this. We were just talking about it. The conversation has certainly died down about Matt Rhule to Penn State this week. So this is the question that we sort of bounced off of our listeners. Is there a certain point that could potentially come this season where he's not a candidate for that job? Or I guess, what are we looking at over the next couple of weeks as it pertains to Matt Rhule and Penn State?
Yeah, we just don't know what Pat Kraft is thinking. And there may be no threshold that Matt Rhule could cross as far as having a crash and burn kind of 2025 season that would convince Pat Kraft of something different than what he already thinks. And if he already thinks that Matt Rhule's the guy based on his decade plus of head coaching experience, then 4 or 5 games aren't going to change that. But the more that Nebraska struggles, then the more difficult it is for him to sell it to the Penn State administration and the Penn State fans and donors. The more that Nebraska succeeds, if Nebraska beats USC next Saturday night, like, oh, there you go. Like,
yeah.
Publicly, it's all going to be trending up again. I really don't think that any of that affects Pat Kraft's mindset. It very well might affect the mindsets. It would, of the people that he needs on board with him. And then there's also the very real possibility that Matt Rhule does not want that job, or would decide in the end after giving it a lot of thought that he doesn't want that job. That has to be considered, I think, as an option here. It's not all in the hands of Kraft. There are 2 things. Does he want to hire Matt Rhule? Okay. If the answer is yes, does Matt Rhule want to take the job? Because that's not always been, I'll say this until he's gone, and even after that point, unless he corrects me, that's not always been his dream to go and be the coach at his alma mater.
Yeah. Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. All right, Mitch, great stuff as always, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Yeah, totally. I mean, it's a great point that we have to remember. Like, just because, we asked the question, is Rhule going to be a candidate at Penn State? Not, is he going to take the Penn State job? That's a different question. That's a second question after you pass through the first question. First question is he going to be a candidate? Is he a viable candidate? Will they go after him? And then the question is, if they do, what will he do? And I don't believe that's a slam dunk either, like Mitch just said. So yeah, there's a lot of hoops that you'd have to jump through, of course. All right, still opinions coming in at Happer Show or the text line or on YouTube. Get those in. Let's take a quick pit stop over at the Odd News when we return on 1620 The Zone.
Upon further review, the host point is good.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.